What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am BDLM coming to you with my, get ready for it, buddies. That's right, J4Y and our good friend Bonk are here with us tonight on episode number 26. And because Jay was a jerk the first time Bonk was on and stole the first introduction, what's going on, Bonk?
Oh. Hey, what's up? Not much.
Good to know.
Yep.
He was such a jerk, he doesn't get a picture this time. That's why. Not because I didn't know what to do and how to get it on there, but totally because of the jerk thing, so.
It's punishment for the webcam. So
that's what we're saying.
We all decided.
Dude, you could just use Matt's old one, and just, I heard that one quality-wise was quite a winner, so.
Pretty fantastic.
One of the viewers could donate me a webcam.
There
you go. And then you get to see Bonk's pretty face.
That's right.
Win-win. For everybody, I guess, except for the person
and the viewers
is forced to see your face. But
regardless,
anyway, yeah. To start off this fantastic episode number 26, we are going to talk about eHome and their recent victory in the joinDota Masters over DK, winning 2-1 and winning 500 years. They also got invited to the international too.
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. It was no surprise on the invitation part. I mean, we kind of expected that, like we were talking about before, since they kind of were in the championship there. You know, you would expect them to at least get invited back.
Spoiler alert.
Not. Oh, right. Sorry, everyone. They might have been in it from last year. Yeah. But they did obviously a good job, and they've changed their roster around a little bit since then. Actually, a lot of teams have. Who we kidding here? I heard someone use the word the alphabet soup that's going on in Dota 2 right now. I really actually don't know what that means at all, but I like it. It sounds pretty accurate.
There you go. They joined the ranks of Complexity, who got invited. I think CLG also got invited. Yeah, actually, it was today, I believe. Very recently. So yeah.
But they're loadaless now.
Loadaless. Poor guys.
He's going to get the booty. That's the good way to put it. The polite way to put it. Yeah. Apparently his girlfriend's over there, wherever there is. I don't remember actually. So he's traveling like over to East Asia, and he's actually going to join the Zenith Storm.
Oh, that's really cool.
So,
actually, I'm a fan of that team. They're really good.
So Craig has too many things to talk about here, right?
Yeah.
You remember eHome?
Pro League.
You remember eHome?
I know. Oh man, I don't even remember their name. This is not good. Navi. Damn. Got
there you go.
One. That's it.
Do you know what Navi stands for?
Oh no.
Nope.
Okay. Well,
I barely do. Okay. I don't even think I could do it right. I couldn't spell it. That's for sure.
That's you can't spell much. So.
Are they Swedish or something?
No, they're
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
Ukraine.
Which
yeah.
It's all that area of the world.
East CLG is Swedish.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
Yeah, eHome is actually the third Chinese team to get invited to the international now, joining IG and DK, who they just beat. That's going to be interesting, actually, when they meet each other in the international. I mean, obviously, there are going to be plenty of tournaments between now and then, but...
Right. A little vengeance might come about. Or come about. But I mean, and I was kind of I wasn't ticked off isn't the right way to put it. I wasn't ticked off that a third Chinese team was already invited, because you pointed out to me pretty clearly how much of the world's population is China exactly. Well, okay, it's a pretty decent percentage, but still, and but there's still plenty of spots. I don't want to know what a spot is. Yeah, plenty of spots.
A spot and a slot.
Yeah, but it sounds pretty dirty. It sounds like something you don't want to talk about that's in your pants. So, regardless, yeah. God, now I'm off track. No,
anyway.
There's plenty of slots left. Oh, and the other thing I want to talk about the international, I don't know if you were going to mention it or not, but I am anyways, the 2 wildcard slots. Or splots, as we will.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you can get somebody from the East, maybe not from China, if they have to duke it out with their Eastern brethren and hopefully come out on top.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. There's a Eastern one and a Western one, so I guess that's going to be maybe South and North America, and I don't even know who else would be considered
Europe.
West. That's maybe Europe.
European teams, yeah.
Could be. I don't know where their dividing line is, and then East, obviously, like Australia, all these other there's so many countries. I'm not going to list them because I don't know. That would take all night. That's the whole episode. I'm just naming countries for the rest of the day. But we're going to have to imagine there's going to probably maybe be some like qualifier tournament perhaps that maybe Valve even hosts. Who knows? Like I don't know how they're going to decide these wild cards, but there's definitely a lot of speculation, and it's kind of interesting to think about. And it gives those pro teams that haven't been on the scene as long a lot of hope, which is another cool thing. Like, maybe they'll earn their way to that spot even though they're not known very well.
Yeah.
Like our team?
Yeah, like our team that we
making
don't even have a name for yet because we're that good. We should be called like the unknown, and just
We don't need to be named.
it's so mysterious.
don't
Those
need
who
to
have not
title
been
us.
named.
Yeah, I mean, the Tough Bananas is already taken. Wild Honey Badgers has been done. Like, we gotta think of something good. It's gotta be animal-based, right? Because before you had Lowland Lions, and then,
Oh, did you hear
Wild
about the
Honey
new
Badgers.
wolf team?
What?
What do they call it? It's the something wolves. It's another wolf team.
Oh, really?
Oh god, now I can't remember it. But they were in the tournament, one of the recent tournaments, and they played, and they lost. But I think it's Team DD.
Yeah, it's
I think
TD
they
renamed.
changed
I
the
don't
name
remember
to the something wolves now.
We can be the 5 Howling Wolves
There you go.
Great, let's just be another wolf team. Let's just
And
add to it.
and make a shirt, and it'll be better than the 3 Howling Wolves shirt.
Now, how many people know that reference?
I don't know if they don't.
I
then-
don't even know. Yeah, I do, but
Yeah,
barely.
you do. Don't lie.
Okay.
Everyone
I
knows
don't know.
that. Matt doesn't.
No, I have
Oh.
no idea what's
Aw.
going on.
You don't know the three Howling Wolves shirt?
No. Would you like to explain it, or am I just
Set
going to
it
be
up
left in the dark?
on the internet.
Wait, you
It's
just don't
not-
know it?
It's not very exciting.
Excellent. All right. Well, here's how we can get you in on the eHome discussion.
If you want to know what it
Actually,
is, you can go look it up.
Go Google. Tinker and Batrider were two pickups that really caught me off guard. Lena was also picked up, but it seemed like the Batrider and the Tinker picks really interesting. And Tinker ran away with the first game with eHome being played in a tri-lane. I mean, what do you just think about those heroes in general, buddy?
Who's Buddy?
Bonk. I prefaced that whole thing with
Oh, did you?
getting Bonk in on the eHome
Yeah.
discussion.
Pretty
Oh,
fun.
continue.
Anyway. Tinker is pretty strong, especially if he gets like any farm in the beginning or any kills. Quick boot, quick bots. We'll get him a quick sheep stick, and then once he's got sheep stick, it's perma CC for one carry, assuming he doesn't have a BKB plus the nukes and all that.
Yeah, he actually, like I said, he got put in the tri-lane, which was
I mean,
interesting because
he's a strong hero.
Yeah. And so he was able to get all that farm, and I think he had his bots by like minute 12 or something. It was an absurd time that he had him, and then he just ran around the map blowing everybody up.
It was almost
so-
too fast. I think he like just digged 6 when he got his bots, which is just like he didn't even like he had the bottle and the bots. Like I think that's all the items he had, and like he barely had enough mana to actually do that combination where he does his nukes and then ports back. Like he maybe just had enough mana. It was ridiculous.
So he was the one being babysat in the tri lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They pulled.
I would think he'd be the one just kind of there and just happening to get all the kills because he does so much nuke damage.
No, he got all the
No.
experience. In fact, the 2 support people were barely in the lane at all because they wanted him to get 6 ASAP so he could get those bots and move around the map. That kind of
Oh, it's
thing.
interesting though. No.
Yeah,
I
that's the
own
first time I've seen it in a tri lane myself.
I own some nubs with Tinker, but that's completely different considering that's nubs.
Yeah, that's a little different than a Masters Championship of
What's the
Asia.
difference between pros and nubs anyway?
not
Very
not much.
small dividing line there,
I like the
honestly.
same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Tinker pickup is not unusual, especially for eHome. Like, they used that back in the first International. Like, that, I don't remember if it's the same guy playing it, but because they all were numbers in that tournament, so if it was 7, 5, or 6 or whatever. But the point is, yeah, I mean, they do like running that Tinker, and it showed why, if they can use it that well, and like get that early of a bot, and like you said, move around the map that much as he did, yeah, his farm at the end was like 400 or 500 gold per minute. Like, he was just a wrecking machine. A wrecking machine! I don't know.
There you go. On to other things that Bonk might actually know something about.
Wow.
We decided to work in a fantastic little question time because we figured we have a third person to get their opinion of. And so we have one pretty serious one, and then we have some other ones that are just like kind of just fun questions that are going to be cool to discuss. Our first one is by Jay Sucked at actually knowing exactly.
I'm pretty sure, dude.
90% chance.
Yeah.
The Chung sent us this question. Paraphrasing, why choose Ancient Apparition as a support hero over your other options? And what do you think, Jay? I mean, obviously, Ancient Apparition is a hero that you like quite a bit.
Yeah, well, I liked running him as a solo mid. That's always been my favorite, and that's how he was used a lot, especially in competitive play back in the day. But still, support he's picked up not nearly as often as other heroes. But my personal thought is he doesn't really do the laning phase better than most supports. But what he brings is that AoE team damage for team fights in the mid game and late game, because he lowers magic armor of all enemies when he can drop down his W. I'm flanking on
Icy Vortex?
Icy Vortex. I'm glad you know more about him than I do. I play
Never
him.
played him.
No, I play him
by
a
the
ton.
way.
I play him a ton, but I've really never even glanced at Cold Feet's the only spell I really knew. Oh, and Ice Blast. Chilling Touch. No one should know the name of that spell. To be fair, his E, because you're not supposed to pick that up to like level 21 through 25, pretty much.
Like the worst spell ever.
It's interesting, but it's so mana intensive and a super long cooldown that it's just not worth it. But we're getting a little off track here. Point is, like I said, he reduces magic resistance and does a huge AoE damage move if he can land it. That's also a global move, but essentially also preventing health regen and healing while that's on them for a long time, about 8 to 10 seconds, I think it is. So yeah, really, really strong for team fighting, and that's why people would want to pick him up. Counter all the Huskars in the pro scene right now, just for example.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think, Bonk?
I don't like AA, especially his role later in the game. While his ult is really good, but to hit like a whole team, that means you need to be like way out of the team fight. You'd have to like ult and then port to a tower to be there for the fight. I mean, that, and as we've said, Chilling Touch is kind of useless.
Well, yeah.
And he doesn't have a on-demand CC or something. I mean, slow is really lackluster.
It's nicer vision though too.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, I was thinking, he's a lot different from a lot of the other sports, I think, too, in that Cold Feet is a weird ability to babysit with, but it's kind of interesting because you're not harassing somebody out of the lane with damage, but if you put the Cold Feet on them, you're like, you have to leave, you can't stay, or you will die. So it's like you can control the person trying to farm against you pretty well with Cold Feet. But yeah, I really think it is a lot to do with the Ice Blast and just having that global presence. The only other heroes in the game you would think of as supports who have global ultis are Silencer, who we never see, and is more often played as sort of the semi-carry role, or Io, who isn't in the game yet, the Guardian Wisp. So I think that's a big reason that you would probably want to pick him up if you were really interested in getting that global presence on one of your support heroes.
You were just looking for an excuse to bring him in this conversation.
I was. I'll do it forever. And so what do you think about in heroes in general? Well, I think Io is actually really important in that conversation.
Even though he's strength.
Strength hero. I'd make it work. I'd find a way.
If Io was an int, he would be the best int hero. And this is why. No.
Yes.
I agree with Bonk. I personally, if I was running a pro team, I would not pick him up very often as a support, if at all. But you would really want to use him, like I was saying, I think more to counter people that either heal or or like fight well with low health, or like the kind of people like you just want to finish off, but you have trouble doing that in team fights. I keep thinking about Huskar. There's more than that. I just am having trouble thinking about them right now. But
he could be great against like an Omni Knight Necrolite, but
yeah,
or someone who goes double heal, and then it's kind of like you need to land that ult. If you F it up, you just pretty much wiped your team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Shen and Enchantress are probably the more popular picks in the meta that would the ult be really good against, but I mean, it's also going to help against the McKensim as well.
Oh, that's true.
So you're not going to get that heal.
But the problem is also that, oh no.
What?
Go ahead. I was gonna say that. Hold on. Mana style.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No,
so
I thought I had it, and then I just blew it. But I remember it without even looking at the site. I remember. I
have to interject. Craig,
don't.
I don't know how much you've been listening to our podcast. At least 10 episodes straight, Jay fails to recall mana styles. And it's...
If they called it like anything else that like related to the item, how it looked, or like anything like Big Blue Axe or something, I would remember that.
What are they called in Han? I don't even remember.
I try to block.
I actually no. I'm glad I don't remember that because that would just be confusing me more. You're right. I remember what it looked like, the icon, but I don't remember the. But regardless.
Look now it's bothering Matt. He's thinking.
Yeah, he's gonna look it up. But
the gears are turning.
Manta style is a really good counter to Ancient Apparition, which most carries get these days, anyways. So because it removes the effect once it's on you. So I'm not like the whole team's gonna have a mana style, but the point is it can be semi-countered in that perspective. And BKB obviously will work against it too. So yeah, I mean it's not the best ultimate in the world, but the other great thing is that it's a 45-second cooldown. It's like even if you mess it up, or if you just want to put pressure on another lane, or you just want to farm a lane and get free gold, like there's so many awesome uses for it. Like I just enjoy having that ability. That's why I personally like playing him and seeing him. But
yeah, I agree. I mean, next question we have is it's a lot of fun. I like it. On allies, says they're going to go mid at hero selection. Who are you hoping that they just do not pick? Submitted by Mr. Gandalf. What do you think, Craig? Who is like the one hero you're just like hoping like, oh please God, just don't do it.
I don't even know. There's so many.
There are.
My initial
response, many heroes.
My initial response would be they just don't go mid at all, and I go mid instead. But since
cheap answer,
since it's not the actual question, let me think. I'm thinking it'd be something like Clanks or Sniper, just an overall not good hero.
So you're doing it based on the hero itself and not the fact that he's like solo mid?
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that it's not a good hero, and then you're putting him in like one of the most important lanes in the game, the lane that needs the gank, and you put Sniper in it, and it's
That's true.
I hope you better pick good side lanes, because if you don't, Sniper ain't ganking for you. Good luck.
Well, what you do is you level Sniper with the shrapnel and then stats, and he ganks often. And you guys kill that person, and then you push the tower. He puts the shrapnel down on the tower, and it's part of a push strat.
Do you remember the days in Dota 1 when shrapnel was good, and it was like that nice nuke?
Nope.
Craig does, probably. And
Dota 1? Do you remember how it was retarded in Han?
What is it doing? Oh, the flare.
Flare, yeah.
You are just... Let me finish my train of thought. Gosh. People... Anyways, his shrapnel was good in Dota 1 because it did like this crazy... It shot like all those... It shot like 4 to 20 of these objects in the air and it came down. And if they if they all land on the hero, it did a ton of damage. So it was like a big burst damage nuke. It was really cool. And some snipers built like a sheep stick. And that way they could CC, which is always nice to have. And he was so mana intensive with his assassinate. As well as that shrapnel move when it was good, that actually it ended up making a lot of sense sometimes. But apparently Craig just does not have the same memory as I do.
Oh, I remember shrapnel back in Dota 1, the new shrapnel, where it was pretty much the same as it is now.
Oh.
And it was bad.
Hey, yeah, I don't know why they changed it to be garbage. I really don't.
Dude, it's good at killing towers.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see Sniper ever, but...
It's really good at killing towers. You just set it and forget it.
Yeah, I mean, we never see Sniper. I can only remember one professional game where he actually showed up, and he was part of the losing team. But I actually do think there's actually some potential in him. But yeah, because it's 30% of the damage from that shrapnel gets done to buildings. So, has a really far cast range, actually. 1,200. Yeah.
You don't see Sniper because he's got no, like, potential. He's got no escape. He's got no, like, stun. He doesn't have anything.
Well, I mean, he'd be good against an Enigma to be able to, like, break the kind of channeled abilities. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd have to go Lothars in a professional
Counter
setting.
Enigma with Sniper. They never saw it coming.
And then you drop 3,300 on Lothars, and they just buy a 180 gold dust.
You don't get Lothars.
It's useless. Yeah, you don't really get...
I mean, you could. But yeah, against professionals, no. I would not even think that's a smart choice.
Well,
because of, like you said, the dust and the
180 gold
sentry wards that you see them get them all the time. They even get them for heroes like Sand King. If they're going to get for heroes like Sand King, you bet your bottom dollar that he's going to... I want to say another word there so bad. You bet your bottom dollar that they are going to get that for a Lothar Sniper.
Yeah, perhaps. What about you, Jay? What hero would you not want to be there?
Well, should I say the one that is going to lead into the next question? Well, I could just say it, then it'll... Well, whatever.
Say Guardian Wisp. Say Guardian Wisp.
Io is probably the worst hero... No, he would be horrible. Holy crap. He would probably be the #1 pick for worst in the middle.
No way.
Oh, please.
Dude, he could do it.
Anyone could do it. That's not a question.
I don't even know what he does.
Okay, how about Io versus Spectre?
Dude,
Spectre gets some sick farm in middle, gets fast
will
radiant.
do easy. He'll just get the he'll get the shield. He'll get the shield. He'll just the harass from Io's auto attacks will do 0 damage. And Spectre with farm's a lot scarier than Io with farm.
Spectre could get harassed out of middle. I mean, like if he's playing against like a Shadow Fiend or someone completely retarded, but
he can, but not against Io, is what I'm saying. And I mean, the other thing,
Io's range. He has big nuke.
The other aspect of this, besides the fact of like if he's gonna win his lane, is like kind of Craig was saying, can he gank, like his gank potential, and then as well as okay, he's getting all the farm from middle. How is he going to help his team with all that farm in the mid to late game? So there's multiple kind of aspects you have to look at, and that's why you asked me a question, I'm answering it. I'm going to say Chen middle.
Chen, I
don't think you would ever want a Chen solo middle unless I played him. You would not want solo Chen.
Nuker Chen.
Oh, don't get me started on Nuker Chen. Nuker Chen. Trust me, that might be in a later segment of this. But regardless, obviously he's kind of designed for the jungle. So, you know, I don't know. And then the other one I was thinking about was Crystal Maiden. And I did get to see that happen in a pub game I was spectating, where she dominated her lane, actually. It was just slaughter. I don't remember. It was against some melee. I don't remember which one. But yeah, she just completely annihilated them and had a bottle, just harassed all day. Didn't even get her aura to like, what, level 12? Or I don't even remember what level. But basically, she was just focusing Frostbite and Frost, you know, so were her 2 nukes. And it was... But that was the problem. The mid to late game, she wasn't scary. And so, like, she fell off pretty drastically. That was the problem.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, you want to... not carry, but I hear that could do well with the farm. But, I mean, I guess it's the same thing as throwing, like, Darkseer in the side lane solo. Because, I mean, he's going to wind up getting, like, Pipe, which you could say isn't going to, like, help him carry the game to victory, but that is a really strong support item that you want. So I think, like, that's the thing. If you sent support heroes mid or these heroes that can't do the damage for you late, they are going to be picking up these utility items that would be really useful. So, I don't know. See, that's why I would think, like, Spectre would be really bad in the middle lane. Because, like, yeah, if you can get the farm, that's good. But, of course, I think if you're playing against that, you can say, Spectre's mid. Let's just gank him, burn down the tower, get the early advantage that way, just stop him from being able to collect any farm, and then he's going to do nothing late. So, I guess it depends on how you want to look at it. You know.
Yeah.
Next question. Since you want to get there with your Ophelia, and by Ophelia,
God, really?
I blame Bonk.
This is all Bonk's fault.
He got me thinking about Han, man.
Magmus.
Magmus.
Who had a Sand King skin, but
War Beast.
All right, we're done with Han. Pack it away. Pack it away.
An ally? No. I clicked on the wrong thing. What is your favorite semi-viable troll bill? Is the next question by Ness.
That's actually Bonk's picture in the middle. That's the one I meant to have the whole time. It's a big troll face.
Yeah, it's me. Wait, no, it's not. You're a liar.
You're a fraud. Alright, so what's your favorite semi-viable build? I'm going to start this, since I kind of already mentioned it. Well, Craig mentioned it, because he's a jerk. If we say Craig and Bonk, they're the same person, now you guys all know. Because that's just what happens when you have friends.
You're not supposed to tell them my real name.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, they're gonna stalk me.
They sure are, because they know what you look like. There it is, right there in the middle of the screen. Just find him. Yeah, so my favorite one is Chen, and you said Nuker Chen. I don't believe in Nuker Chen. Mine's a little different variation of that. It is in the laning phase, but going DPS Chen. That's what I like to call him. I build him with attack speed with his treads, and I get him a Chrysalis really early. And I just DPS with Penitence and his nuke.
Yeah, it's probably important to say that you prioritize penance and test
Oh,
of
well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't think a lot of good would come from being
faith.
able to
Holy
control
persuasion,
the creeps.
DPS gen.
I'm gonna summon all my allies back to base.
Don't worry, I can do the damage. Go home.
And it's actually pretty hysterical to go this kind of build. And you were saying nuker, so a lot of people back in the day, if they did go a different variation Chen, it would be the Dagon rushed, and you would give the penance and the test of faith, and you would just do a big burst hit and hope it would kill them. But if you didn't, you were pretty much done. Like, that was all you had. Whereas DPS Chen is consistent high damage with his crits and attack speed. He's taking extra damage the whole time. And the test of face for a nice big bursty nuke. I mean, what else do you really need?
Didn't we say this had to be semi-viable?
Yeah, I can prove to you after this cast this is semi-viable if you don't believe me.
Oh,
Good answer.
That was rude.
What about you, Bonk? What do you like for the trolling? Actually, I know what you like for the trolling. Unfortunately,
no. Let's hear yours, sir.
Oh.
no, mine leads into the next topic, so that's why you have to go first.
You
Sorry,
disgust me.
ruining it. I know.
All right.
I know.
I must say I have a pretty good record with Alchemist.
I was gonna say it was Alchemist. God damn it.
And Alchemist is a pretty bad hero. I don't know. I'm pretty wrecked with him. 1 point in gold, whatever.
Goblin's Greed.
Goblin Greed.
And 1 in Unstable Concoction. Or not 1. Max Unstable Concoction, and then max Toxic something.
I know more about Alchemist's abilities than I do about Ancient Apparitions. What does that say about me? That's just terrible.
Obviously, while getting his ult when
Chemical
fire.
Rage.
Yes.
Chem Rage.
Anyway,
Beast Mode.
so you go Radiance, right? You gotta get Radiance.
Of course.
You get some
Number one.
Power Treads. You get from there you build like a Basher, an Assault, a Mask of Madness. You just go crazy
You have a
bash
lot of
build.
money.
I was actually thinking, I don't think I've seen you do that since Abyssal Blade came out. I almost want to see you play it, just so you can also pick up Abyssal Blade and just tear people
And you
down.
solo mid with him, right?
I mean, solo mid, silent, doesn't matter. He's pretty unkillable unless like the other team
Did
like
you
really
say you max
tries.
out Unstable?
Yeah,
See, that's the troll part right there, in my
especially
opinion.
if you're middle.
No, especially if you're middle, that's the troll part. You should just be getting farm and not caring about the early game at all.
No, you gotta gank, bro.
Dude, we
Your job
watched
is-
a pro Alchemist play, and
Oh, one guy.
no, it's not the fact that, like, oh, he has to set the standard. It's the fact that we saw him in his build, and it looked like it was a good idea. And, like, it looked like it was going to work. It would have worked if the rest of his team didn't fail so hard that game.
So what did he max?
Go up Goblin's Greed.
Did he max greed? Oh god.
And
Greed and
then
Acid Spray.
he did Acid Spray, or Unstable Concoction. I mean, Acid Spray. Not Unstable Concoction. He put that... I don't even think he put a point in it till, like, 8 or 9.
Yeah, it was a while. I mean, yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, Bonk's saying he'd want to gank with it, which obviously is understandable. I think he's a really good ganker. I actually toyed around with playing him and getting a Blink Dagger, so you can just jump on top of people and stun them for 4 seconds. Unfortunately, that was not my forte. I still think it's possible and interesting. But yeah, I think if you were just going to worry about farming him up, then you'd go the Goblin. But yeah, if you're definitely planning on ganking, then you at least have to pick up
And
1
also,
point.
I think it
Unstable.
depends on who you're against in middle. Like, he was against a Dragon Knight, so he was no way in hell he was going to kill him one-on-one. So basically, he was just left to farm. But if you're against a super squishy mid, like a Chen, DPS Chen, for example, you know, you might do pretty well with that Unstable Concoction, actually. So it just all depends. If you're against a Queen of Pain, though, just pack it in. You're
Dude,
done.
I've beaten the queen or not beaten.
How
I've
could she
not
not
I've
blink before
not
you get
died.
that Unstable Concoction off?
It's because you pop it when she gets aggressive. As soon as she blinks at you, you turn it on, and it starts channeling, and then she's got to run, and then you throw
What
it
if
at her.
she's passive because she understands she's not going to beat you in middle?
Then you just sit there. You just sit there and farm.
But that's why you max Goblin's Greed.
No, because then if she does get aggressive, you don't have a stun, and she's just gonna sit on there and poop on you.
How does she know you don't have a stun?
You haven't used it yet.
You're smart. Plotting.
Exactly. You're waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Fine.
Yeah. Well, sadly, that's viable and competitively, maybe not, but unfortunately we haven't seen it be successful in the pubs. I actually like strategies I have seen professionally in Han particularly. Trixie made Venomancers, the side lane solo, very popular. And I actually really like it still. I mean, there's nothing specific about Venomancer as opposed to Slither, the Han counterpart, that would make him less useful. It's just people, for some reason, aren't interested in trying it. You know, he is one of those heroes like the Darkseer where you wind up getting the pipe, the Drums of Endurance, the support team items with the farm that you get. You know, once you hit level 3 and you can start putting up the stronger wards, it's actually really easy to sit a safe distance away because you essentially have the range of the wards, and then you can sit further back than that and still be able to farm effectively. I also really like to lead into the next topic. They ran Keeper of the Forest.
I don't get to comment on that, really?
No, you don't. No, go ahead. Please.
Because
please
I figure I would like to. You know. First of all, this is like a half troll. Because that's actually pretty viable, in my opinion.
It is.
But that's okay.
I agree.
I'll let you get away with a half troll thing. And, like, first of all, why was Vanguard the most popular first item in Here's New Earth when he was played solo?
I don't know.
That was
really
always picked up first item on him. Craig, do you have any idea? It's just, like, I understand maybe you want to be a little tankier to get in the middle and drop your Poison Nova, but, yeah.
I think actually what I would like is if you do what anti-mages were doing for a really short period of time, where they would pick up the Ring of Regen and then the Vitality Booster, but then not get the shield to complete it. And then they would turn one into Heart and then one into the Battle Fury. But instead you turn the Ring of Health into your pipe, and then you turn the Vitality Booster into whatever you like. I mean, you don't even have to turn it into anything, to be honest. I mean, once you move out of that lane, you might not necessarily be getting the farm to turn it into much of anything. Or, I mean, I guess you could still turn into the Vanguard if you wanted defense against auto attackers. But, I mean, just the Vitality Booster is a lot of health for the amount of gold it costs. Well, so you can really just sit on that. And
the other thing is I don't understand why he doesn't get Agwan Scepter more often either. I think it's really good on him. Like, really good. It lowers the cooldown by a ton, down to 60 seconds. Increases the damage and duration. I mean, pretty effective.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, the neat thing about playing in this high lane, because he can actually get the farm. You know, he can't really stop the other people from farming. It really is just about him being able to hold the lane from being pushed and being able to get some farm of his own. But yeah, I mean, I could totally see it, like, pipe the drums, get the Augment Scepter, you know, Ring of Aquila, all really awesome items when you start to move into the mid-game that, you know, are going to allow you to maintain persistence in the lane and, you know, just all-around good items. But my other one is the Keeper of the Forest, the Treant Protector, as he is, and Dota 2, now actually available to be picked. Here's our next section. He was built solo mid in 2 games in particular. I really wish I could remember who it was that did it. They put points into the stats and the living armor. And because he scales so well as far as stats go, he could stay in the lane. He could not be harassed out of it because he had the extra armor, the extra health regeneration, and then he was putting points into stats, so he was getting tankier in that respect. And he just hit so hard that it was really easy for him to last hit. And I think the neat thing about him now in Dota 2 is now that your living armors in AoE, getting quick levels in that could be interesting to provide that support to the other lanes while being the solo mid.
Chu did that in Here's New Earth when he was the solo mid dude. Yeah, that was really effective. He was just... He just didn't give an F. A bottom dollar.
Fox?
About, yeah, didn't give a fox. About whoever... It was someone who was just trying to harass him the whole time. And he just had armor and health, and it's like, whatever. And just moved on and kept farming. And he was so good, and he had a hatchet, too. Or a Quelling Blade in Dota. And, yeah, he could just outlast hit anyone because of his base damage. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I seem to remember him getting a kill mid, too, like, by himself, because the person he was laning against was so thrown off by it and didn't really think about how hard Treant was going to be hitting with the stats, and then just, like you said, his high base damage. Yeah, really interesting. He didn't do it after, I think that day, it might have been 2 games in a tournament. but it was really interesting to see. And of course, that was with a slightly different version of Treant Protector, the one that used to be in Dota. Now we have this shiny new one that we get to get some thoughts about. So, I mean, what do you guys just have as far as general thoughts on the new Treant Protector?
Great.
Go, Jay, go!
Okay. Well, when you say new compared to old, I guess, do people know what the old one was? I mean, should I briefly just run that down?
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the old Treant Protector back in Dota 1 when he was first around, he had a couple different things. Well, Nature's Guise was the same, except it didn't actually give that bonus move speed, I don't believe, but it still had the same effect. Instead of Leech Seed, he actually had a move called Eyes in the Forest, which allowed him to place... It was like this... Well, it was like an eye over... He clicked on a tree. That tree now had this eye over it, and it gave vision, true sight, around in an area around that. And it looked like a ward. I'll put it that way. It was a little smaller radius than a ward, and he could put up as many of those as he wanted in a game. However, the cooldown was insanely long. The first level, it was like 300 seconds, or it was really high. And every time he leveled up, it went down in cooldown. And then the Living Armor was not an aura like it is now. It was just a single target, gave armor and health regen, but more of it to that one person. And he could have it on multiple people because the cooldown was shorter than the duration. And then finally his ultimate was just a bigger radius, I think. And that was...
Well, and the time scaled up, and I also believe it
True.
applied a mini stun at the beginning, so you could cancel channels with it. Pretty sure, I'm not 100% on that one. But I've definitely, the first time I played Treant, I tried to ult somebody who was TPing away, and it did nothing, and I cried. It was very depressing.
So, comparing to old, well, I didn't get to compare it.
Oh, yeah.
I just said the old
faster,
one.
Please.
Well, fine, I will go faster. I like him. I like him
Yeah.
more now. I think he's more useful in the laning phase as well as throughout the whole game. Because Leech Seed compared to Eyes of the Forest, I mean, Eyes of the Forest will give you that vision, but wards give you this vision too. So really, that's not that big of an advantage over the other team. Really, it's just kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, like I say, it wasn't like it didn't throw off the game or anything. But Leech Seed gives healing and damage and slow. So I mean, that's really helpful in a nice team fight. And then the Living Armor Aura, I mean, that's just cool. That's just straight up cool. Giving global health regen during the day, and armor. Like, that helps in the laning phase actually quite a bit. It doesn't sound like a lot from the numbers. Sorry about that. I was just so excited. Excited explosion. But, yeah, I mean, it just... God, now I'm thrown off. It was really good. The end.
Thank you.
It's good.
It's good.
Very good. What about you, Bonk? What do you think?
I actually haven't really played with him too much recently, so I can't really say much about him. The Living Armor thing is obviously huge. And it's interesting how that'll interact with Night Stalker.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
Night Stalker's on the other team. He essentially gets nerfed really hard because at level 16, Night Stalker can make it night, 95% of the time.
It's really high, yeah.
It's really high.
Although by then, and this is because I was talking to Matt about this when we first were reading up on this, and he was like, oh man, Night Stalker's the perfect counter, he's never going to get picked. I was like, well, think about it this way. By the time he gets to make it permanite, you're going to be mostly team fighting, or in groups at that point in the game. It's not going to be laning phase anymore, so you're not going to really need the global. It's still going to be a 900 aura at nighttime, so you'll be kind of grouped up for the most part anyways. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be as effective, but at the same time, at that point in the game, you don't really need to worry about it being a global presence. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it's really strange because it's something that you want to get a lot of points into, I think, earlier than later, because the health regen and the armor is going to be really important for any carries you have on your team to be able to keep them in the lane and be able to withstand harass. But it's also something where it's like, okay, I'm putting all my points into this, and by the time you have 2 or 3 points in it, the first nighttime hits, and so now it's only going to apply to the person in your lane. And so it's kind of like the inverse of Hunter in the Night, where during the day you're just investing all these points into it, so you have something good for the nighttime. Treant, you're like, should I be putting points into this because pretty soon it's actually going to wind up not affecting anything outside of a 900 AoE radius.
yeah. I mean, the other thing about his other abilities too is that the components that are really important about them you get them flat at level 1. So at Leech Seed, you get the 24% slow and 3-second duration. Doesn't matter about the rank. With Nature's Guise, 10% bonus movement speed, and you get the invisibility around trees at rank 1. So, like, while, yes, leveling them up is nice because they do other damage or duration, whatever thing, you get their, what I feel like is their main purpose at the first rank. So you can afford to put the points in living armor instead of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about leveling guys is it reduces the mana cost, which is actually really important because he has a relatively low mana pool to start with, and Leech Seed is a pretty expensive spell. And of course, it increases the duration as well. I really like him in the sense that you can use that Nature's Guise to roam around quite a bit, to be able to try and... You get your own personal smoke to a certain extent. Obviously, it's only around trees, but it's really nice to be able to get that mobility between the lanes. And again, with the living armor, if it's during the day... If you leave a carry behind, you're still providing them with some kind of sustainability in the lane. The Leech Seed's interesting because, I mean, obviously putting points into it is going to increase the damage and stuff. But yeah, like you said, you get the slow so at rank 1. So it really depends on, okay, well, do I really need it to do more damage, or do I just need the slow component of it?
And living armor plus the AoE heal from whatever the heck it's called.
Leech Seed?
No. The item.
Mechanics?
Shaman headdress.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
You could be a heal bot.
Damn. What's that, like 6 per second?
Oh, gosh.
To
Well,
anyone near you?
It's like when you max out the living armor, like looking around at other heroes, in some cases, that's like giving them an extra 50% of their armor. It's quite substantial.
Awesome.
Really nice to be able to give that to heroes in your lane. I mean, he's really good hero too, I think, for being able to sustain lane pushes as well. I mean, you're not doing anything for the creeps, but being able to keep heroes up throughout the course of the push is really crucial. I mean, the Leech Seed, actually, if you put it on an enemy creep, it will heal your own creeps. So in that respect, he can help with the creeps pushing, but...
Yeah, I believe I was also reading up that he has the highest total stat gains of any hero in Dota. So how much strength plus agility plus int he gains per level is the highest of anyone at 7.6? No, too high. 6.6. Math is really hard when you're doing it on the fly, believe it or not.
6.6,
I thought it was higher than that. I thought it was 7.2. Did they change that from
Maybe they
Dota
changed
1?
it.
Huh.
I don't know. But yeah, his strength gain is really high. I mean, he can get a lot of health out, which is really nice. You know, that's kind of the other thing, especially, I kind of mentioned it before, but if you wind up doing that build where you go living armor and stats, if you just kind of do the alchemist thing, like we were talking about when he was going against the Dragon Knight, if you're just like, okay, I'm going to worry about last hitting, I'm going to worry about staying in the lane, and I'm going to worry about making sure my other lanes have a little bit more survivability, and you just go between living armor, stats, and your ultimate, I think it's potentially a lot stronger than it was actually in Han, with it just being the single target health and health regeneration and armor. And then, of course, once you do hit 6 and you get the overgrowth, and Nature's Guise at 7 if you don't get it before then, he can run around and go to those other lanes where the heroes are level, maybe 4, and get the drop on them with the invisibility and be able to take them down with the overgrowth.
Yeah, you kind of need it. It's like Beastmaster, sort of in that same way. Like, until 6, ganking, it's a possibility, but it's not going to be very effective until you have that ultimate to really help out. But, I mean, yeah, he's got an AoE CC, so if he can sneak up on a lane, like you said, drop that ulti on both people in the lane or all three, whoever many's there, yeah, that's going to turn the tide of the fight quite substantially. So, but he's obviously... With being that super strength hero, he is super lacking in the mana department, as we kind of said before, and that's why, like, I guess we'll start going into item builds for him at this point then, if you want to, but you need mana, obviously, through items. A popular way to get that is through the arcane boots on him. Obviously you have a lot of options, but I think that might be the most ideal, because then you'll also be really helpful for your team when you're trying to push and gank and everything. You'll have those boots on demand to give everyone that mana up. Aside from that, I actually don't know where I was going to go. Oh, if you're going carry mid, Mask of Madness. Just absolutely priority number 1, Dude, you've seen people wreck. Actually, I think... You know what? it's your fault. You have you poisoned our mind for the rest of this cast. I would just like you to know.
Who, me?
Who, me?
What did I do?
What did I do?
You know what I actually meant to say there?
That's a bad item.
No. It's amazing. Actually, Radiance was a popular pickup for a super farm Treant, because he would just get that and go invis and just sit in the lane and just piss people off. They're like, okay, I want to farm that, but this hurts a lot, and I don't want to stand here much longer. And it's pretty troll, pretty funny, but...
If I would play Treant Middle, first item I'd get with my money would be Blink Dagger. Well, after Arcane Boots.
Yeah, the Blink is pretty useful for getting the overgrowth in. I mean, I believe since he was changed, the duration went down by about 175. I think it was 800 before. So it's actually a little bit, you have to be a little bit more particular about where you drop the LT to be able to try and catch as many people as possible. So yeah, I definitely think Blink Dagger is useful. I actually liked building Tranquil Boots on him, oddly enough, because it's cheap. It allows you to start moving towards another item, and you're exacerbating the armor and health regeneration that you're already getting, and it's an amazing amount of movement speed. And when you combine that with Nature's Skies, you really can move between lanes very quickly. And I think it's really nice to be able to give him that and give him some additional gank potential, because I think a hero that you could really kind of compare him to would be Tidehunter, and that he's another melee strength support hero. And so that's, I think, one of the places where he can kind of be a little bit better than Tidehunter, in that he can get a slow on the target, and he can also move between the lanes faster to be able to try and apply that slow.
It's funny you bring him Tidehunter, because that's been a huge debate on a lot of forums and everything about why would you pick up Treant over Tidehunter ever? Like, they were just comparing them purely as a support in that same role. And they just do different things. Like, it's really hard to compare them on the same level, because the only thing you can kind of compare is their ultimates and how they affect a team fight, but the rest of their abilities are so different that, like, why would you even try to go that route? Like, I think ultimate-wise, Tidehunter takes the cake, just because of how much range it has and the fact that it stuns instead of just roots. So it's more effective in that manner. However, that being said, I think the rest of the abilities goes to Treant in my mind, just because of the global aura, the Nature's Guise to help people speed up, escape, that kind of thing. And the Leech Seed gives you the same slow as Gush. I mean, it doesn't give armor reduction, but it's an AoE team fight presence move instead of just single target. So, I mean, like I said, they're just so different that I think it's really hard to compare them on that level.
Anchor Smash is probably one of the most underrated moves ever.
That's true.
Because it does like
Anchor Smash is amazing.
A 40% damage debuff or something.
I wouldn't say that
high. I think it's that high.
It's like
it's 20.
20. I wanted to say 25.
Oh shoot! It is 40. We got rolled.
There you go.
We got rolled. I haven't played Tidehunter ever, actually. That. So there you go. Fair enough.
Told you.
Yeah.
Know what I'm talking about.
The other thing, too, is like the range difference between Gush and Leech Seed is huge, because Leech Seed is actually a really short cast range. You really do have to be able to, like, Nature's Guise, be next to somebody and drop it on them to surprise them with it. And I think that might be kind of part of the problem when you compare them as gankers in the early game. It's because, like, yeah, okay, you have to buy the smoke as Tidehunter to be able to get in there without being seen quickly. So you're wasting the gold, but you can use the Gush from such a further distance away. It's a lot easier to, like, gank somebody, especially who's mid, for instance. Like, you can't really get close to the tower to be able to Leech Seed somebody as Treant Protector without being seen.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my only problem with him. I don't know what role he really fits well into, or what team he really synergizes with. In a team fight, yeah, I can see where he fits in all the places, but when you talk about the game, there's the whole 45 minutes of it. So, like, there's parts of it where he might be really weak or not helpful for your team that could decide the fate of the rest of the game. Like the laning phase, his laning phase is, in my opinion, pretty darn weak. Like you said, he just has low-range things. He has an invis, which, okay, it can help someone survive, but it's not good for ganking or setting up kills. The only thing he can set up kills with is a 24% slow, which isn't that much, and it's a really short range. So, I mean, he's kind of lackluster in that part.
He's no lane presence, really, till 6.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and the more and more I think about it, I actually almost do like the solo mid Treant Protector more than the support one, to be honest. Because the other thing too is we tried running him in a tri lane the other day and it didn't work.
Oh God, that's
so
an understatement.
Well. But that it's not necessarily, I think, Treant's fault. I mean, we just kind of ran it wrong and miscommunication, all that fun stuff. But he kind of actually
I was not in that lane, guys. Not my fault.
Yeah,
not my fault.
That,
the other two people in this might have been in the lane.
Where? I don't see the other people. That's crazy. That's weird.
It is strange. Yeah, like I actually really wanted to run Treant with Crystal Maiden as the supports. I mean, Windrunner worked really well too, but he does need levels, I think, to be effective, and a little bit of farm, I feel like, goes a long way on him as a hero.
Well, the problem with our tri-lane, which you didn't really spell it out for people, so Treant, who's melee and has a small range spell, Vengeful Spirit, who's got a great stun and everything, but very, very small range, so can't harass very well, and then Morphling is the carry, who has the same range as Vengeful Spirit, or maybe shorter, actually. It might be shorter. So, terrible, terrible range for a tri-lane. Very hard to do anything. And we were against a Mirana and Pudge. Was that the Mirana Pudge lane? Which made no sense in any regard. But Mirana was just kicking my ass, and it was just very unfortunate. I was the Morphling, by the way.
Yeah, you were Morphling. Yeah, who was I that game? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. You suck. You didn't gank for us once.
It's because you're a tri-lane. What do you need me to gank you with you for?
Oh wait, you did gank once and you got a double kill.
Yeah, I did gank. Yeah, that's right. I'm tiny. Get wrecked.
Whatever.
God, why am I so good?
The one thing we haven't mentioned about Nature's Guys, which I think is, if you can play it right, really strong, when Treant Protector has it on himself, casting spells or using items will not break the invisibility. So not only can you Leech Seed and Overgrowth somebody without coming out of the invisibility, but you can also use like your Mechanism, your Pipe of Insight, Sheepstick. These items will not break the invisibility.
If you have a Sheepstick on Treant, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah. But you can use these items without fear of, being caught out. I mean, so you could like use your Overgrowth to help somebody get away or something without putting yourself in danger. So it's like, I think a big part of him is knowing when the team fights are coming so that you can already be invisible, have a lot of points in the Nature's Guy so it lasts a long time, and then from there you can use your abilities, use your items, and then turn other people invisible if they have to get out. It does have like a 2-second fade time, I believe. So, yeah, I think it's a really big part of playing him well is taking advantage of the Nature's Guys. The lane I really do like him in, better than Tidehunter though, is with the Leshrac. We've seen Tidehunter Leshrac quite a bit, but I think Treant Protector works a lot better because of the Nature's Guys and the Leech Seed, because you can actually keep Leshrac invisible while the Edict's going off, and the ultimate as well, and chase somebody down and they can't even see you.
Then the Radiance Burn.
Hilarious. Well, yeah.
From both heroes, Leshrac and Treant, just
double it up. What could go wrong?
Gotta double bag it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We toyed around with that idea, and we were doing it not in a regular game, so it wasn't as interesting. But yeah, Leshrac. Okay, Leshrac in general is one of the most popular heroes for obvious reasons. All of his abilities are just amazing, and like you said, when you can couple that with an invisibility, let's just make him invis while he's doing all his damage on top of that. Like, you're going to just scare everyone out of the lane. Like, they're not going to be able to approach anything, because how are they going to, like, they'd have to know where you are to stun you? Even if they stunned you in AoE ground, you're still invisible. So they can't even pull you out of it without, like, a Sentry Ward or Dust. So, that's actually pretty hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, Sentry Ward's really good, obviously, against Treant Protector. I mean, he can't do anything in the lane once you get them.
Well, anything?
Essentially. Yeah, pretty much, because you're in melee range to cast your spells, pretty much. So you're just providing your living armor and crossing your fingers, and probably
you say melee range. It's 500. That's farther than Morphling's attack.
Yeah, it feels really short.
I guess you're comparing it to like Gush or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a little shorter reach.
Very true.
That happens when you're made out of wood. So.
Yeah, your soul moves quick. Can't throw stuff as far. Yeah, our games went interesting. How did you like playing the Tiny, Craig? Somebody I haven't seen you play all that much.
I used to play him a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I got bored of him.
All right.
I get bored easily.
Who else did you
specific
play?
hero? No.
Who else do I play?
No, did you
What did
play?
you play that night?
Oh, I don't remember. I got a terrible memory. Tiny.
Do you remember who you played that?
No, I got the Tiny. That was it.
Well,
That's
now let's backtrack, actually. Think about who you played in that game. And you go through a chain like that. Actually, Craig played the side solo. No, I did. I played Lone Druid in the second game as side solo.
Oh yeah, you played side
We
solo
had
Lone
Death
Druid.
Prophet mid. So
Gosh,
Craig was
bad.
getting the farm as...
Oh, that's Anti-Mage. I got wrecked.
Oh, Anti-Mage. That game.
out.
Bad.
That was a bad game indeed. You got
I don't
pretty
remember-
shat on because it was a Tide Hunter Anti-Mage lane. And you were jungling as Enigma?
Enigma. Yeah, I played Prophet another game jungle with as well. Yeah, our support picks didn't line up very well with the lanes, unfortunately. I think the tri-lane game, the support was picked after we figured out the other stuff, but I believe Mr. Bonk actually formed the double melee range on lane on that one.
I was being told I was farming bottom. I thought he had an actual babysitter.
Tide Hunter?
Yeah,
Anchor
Yeah.
Smash?
Where's that Mirana, bro?
I was told farm bottom. I was like, all right, they got an all-int team. Anti-Mage done.
You would think the Anti-Mage would do well against that team, but turns
But
out...
Mage
not
is
when
too-
you get no items.
Yeah, turns out that was not the case. They were pretty painful all around. And I did pretty lackluster as that Lone Druid. But I usually play him in the jungle when I play him. So I want to try him in the lane, because I know that can be effective. But believe it or not, that takes a ton more microing in the lane than it does in a jungle.
Quite a bit.
And
Oh.
I was not prepared for the amount of micro that was entailed.
But it's only 2 units, man. Come on.
It's not even about being 2 units, it's about...
Your Korean brothers would be very upset with you.
I don't have Korean brothers, actually.
Well, maybe you should get some.
Well, then they would
it'll help
teach me the
you
ways of the jungle.
with your APM. Get it up there to the 400.
It's not about my APMs. It's also about balancing the aggro of the creeps. Like, that was another aspect I wasn't even like taking into consideration. Like, when I was trying to harass Leshrac. That's what I was against the whole time. So I was trying to keep constant pressure on him with my bear, while last hitting with my hero. And then if I was gonna like keep harassing Leshrac, if he got close, I'd try to attack with my hero too. And it just was a whole thing. And then Nature's Prophet was in their jungle, ready to gank me at any second of the game. So I had to be careful about him too. And it
Nature's Prophet was all over the map on that game.
Well, he is Nature's Prophet.
He tends to do that from time to
He was
time.
doing his job very well in that game.
And he got a real quick silent stick, which messed me up real bad.
Working
Yeah.
malevolence for the win. Yeah.
Actually, before you guys were playing, I played a game as Nature's Prophet, and we had a Spirit Breaker solo mid, and it was hysterical because he would just like we were starting to lose, and we were like, okay, come on, we need to gank. This is what we have a really good team for. We need to just constantly gank and keep pressure on. And so he just started charging people, and then as soon as he got close, TP in, and oh man, there was like nothing the other enemy team could do. It was hilarious.
That is the one
Totally
thing he's good
trolled
at,
him,
is
but-
ganking.
You remember who
There
you
you
played for the last game of the night?
Who's you?
Was it Enigma?
No.
I thought
There
it
was
was
one. We played another game after that.
I know who I played.
Who did you play?
I played
Maybe that'll
my
help me
Ancient
remember.
Apparition. Support.
Hmm.
I think he actually
Wait, that's
was
Oh no, I
you,
wasn't
man.
support. I was with Sand King.
Oh, were you a Sand King?
I was with Sand King Brett, top lane.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
and we got kind of rolled.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That was bottom with our pug.
Oh, who was I? I really don't remember. Do you remember?
Not
I
true.
was Viper. I know who you are. I'm looking at it right now.
Ooh,
Who?
he's staring you down. Just
I
undressing
got you
with
in
his
my
bar.
sights.
Oh God.
I really don't remember.
Is it Huskar? No. Support Huskar. You gotta heal. You gotta heal.
You argued with yourself a lot.
Shakiro!
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. There.
Oh,
Oh, that
man.
was witty. I liked it.
Liquid Fire. Too strong.
Oh my
Man, ever since I saw that in that one pro game, prioritizing Liquid Fire, oh, I love it. It's so beautiful. It does so much harassment damage. And it's good for pushing towers and killing creep waves quickly. Fantastic. And you can,
Right?
huh?
We had Juggernaut. That's why you went with him, I think.
Yeah, it was Juggernaut, because like Jay was
Yeah.
bottom with Juggernaut, and I was like, why is AA with Juggernaut? AA sucks.
Whoa. No need to say that.
Strong phrasing.
Very strong.
And I'm like, Matt, why don't you go bottom?
Yeah. It works a lot better. I mean, I really do like the Liquid Fire just because the increase in the stun duration is very small when leveling up the W. So I really do like the amount of lane control that can provide you. And then, of course, you're with Juggernaut, who can actually push really well with the ward and the spin. So I think it was a pretty good decision in that game. And just in general, it was a really nice build to go on him.
Yeah, and AA Sand King should have worked really well. Should have is the key word. My lane partner, not to call him out, but wasn't too comfortable with his range on his stun, and so wasn't very aggressive, which Sand King kind of has to go all in. Or be very aggressive, I should say, when he goes. Like, if you're not aggressive with Sand King, you don't bring anything to the table, because that's all he all he has to do is melee things, essentially, go in there and do things. So when he wasn't stunning when he needed him to, we just got slaughtered, because it was Phantom Lancer Crystal Main. So they had a ton of slow and, you know, the Frostbite, and it was just painful. And, like, we never went in, so they just harassed us, and there was nothing we could do about it, so it sucked.
But Craig,
yeah.
why have we
that
not
game.
run Phantom Lancer Crystal Maiden yet? That's my question.
Phantom Lancer's such a bad hero.
Oh,
But you
it's
were
true,
playing him
but
so much for the week he came out.
It's true. I mean, he's fun to play if you get him farm, but once he gets farm, it's all over. He's unstoppable, but until 40 minutes into the game, he's not that good. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get like Magic Stick and stuff, you can actually kind of hold your own in early game with nukes, but
he does good harass. He really does.
yeah, he does.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why the Crystal Maiden is such a good pair for him, because she can also harass so well, and then, of course, the mana regeneration.
You know, Craig, who I'm really upset you haven't been playing a lot of? Especially
Didn't
because
Ogre?
you go... Yeah, no. I know you've had your share of Ogre, that's fine.
I have a lot of
You
games
play a
played
lot
there.
of solo mid. Why don't you play Brewmaster more?
Brewmaster?
He's
Oh, I
the
don't
bestest
know.
middle ever, and he kicks everyone's butt, and he has a microing component. Like, what do you not love in this hero?
How's he good though? He's melee.
Pros play mid all the time.
You can
Melee-
send him with a
what does
support
melee
middle.
stop people from going middle? You just said you play Alchemist middle, but you won't play Brewmaster middle?
I don't know. Alchemist is fun.
Oh, but
He's a very
Brewmaster's
silly
boring.
hero.
Okay. I'd rather have Acid Spray than Thunderclap and the Thunderstomp and all that crap. No.
Dude, but then I can ult and pop Mask of Madness and just bash stun people.
You can do that. You just said Mask of Madness. You just contradicted yourself. You said it's a horrible item.
Yeah, that's right. I get it on my Troll Alchemist spells.
All the attack speed.
Bro.
Yeah, I mean, you lower your base attack speed with your ult. And when you get an Assault, and a Mask, and a Basher, boom.
How many games have you played with Brewmaster? Not enough is the first answer.
Let me look.
But
Let me look.
have you built Ogmans on him?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I played him a couple
Well, at
games.
least you did it properly. Oh my
We
god.
need to
Like,
make
that
this
hero is amazing if you can micro those spirits well. And
Oh yeah, I can micro him fine.
well, that's why I'm saying. I'm really disappointed I don't see you run that more often.
I think this is one of the things we're going to have to force you to do during the week.
Yeah, and
Well,
that's
that-
not asking you to do a
Oh,
lot. 'cause
I've
that's-
played him once, apparently.
Wow. That's quite an amount.
So it says.
Although
I've played Outward Destroyer 25 times.
that's a waste of 25 times.
Dude,
Oh, well,
dude, I'm sick with him. Dude, I'm
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 sure.
in the fifth bar.
Let me just say records and things don't matter. My Jakiro's like 6-0. Does that mean he's a good hero?
So-
Does that mean
Yes.
anything? No.
Do you still have that? Can you check your records with heroes?
Yeah. It's
No,
in
we
my
can get
bottom
records,
left.
too.
It says my top like
Oh, there it
six
is.
heroes.
Alright, here. Alright. Oh, when you hit more, it doesn't. That's
Oh, it
dumb.
doesn't tell you the record sign.
Doesn't tell you win-loss. Just tells you games played.
What do the bars mean, by the way? I saw that and I was pretty disappointed with it. Is it because I haven't played enough games
Really,
yet?
it's like your GPM and your kills and your deaths.
Mine
and
were
it's
all
a whole bunch
really
of
low,
factors that
and
are
I was
terrible.
upset. I was like, my highest was like Windrunner at like 3 points. I don't even know. It was low. I was like, I do better than this. Or I did. Recently, I've been terrible. Like, I actually almost want to go and play roaming support if we played with 5 people. But I just know our friends, and I know that's not feasible, unfortunately. We could have Terps carry, and Craig will go middle, but who the hell would play the side lane for us?
I would do it.
Yeah, who would really play that? Here, you do your little Vitamancer side lane thing and just...
Yeah.
Bunnies, if he ever
feed.
played, we could get Bunnies to probably do that. But,
Dude, we don't have time to play in Dota 2.
okay, we do.
We got too much
You
D3
are
to play.
almost done
There's too
Diablo
much-
3. You need to
too
slow
much-
down and play
There's
some
too much
Dota.
Diablo 3 playing.
Yeah,
Dude, I got a 60,
And almost another 60?
I think he's a 50 or a 51. I think.
And you know, that's not even close to the saddest thing. Like, there's people that probably have...
Dude, there's people that have beaten
Inferno.
Inferno. I haven't even taken a step in Inferno. Inferno's ridiculous.
You didn't take a step there? Didn't you hit 60? You didn't go in there?
Yeah, I didn't go in there. That place is
That place
Shiz-
is
Like,
shiz
forget
show.
this.
And it's hot. It's an
Oh.
inferno.
the shiz show.
The shiz show. Is that your PG way of saying it?
Yeah, that's my PG. It's it's nasty. Dude, some of the weapons on Auction House, max DPS is like 1,000 on a one-hander.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
That's I'm using a 300 DPS one-hander. It's
That's
good,
a little
right?
different. than,
A little bit less, perhaps. But, you know...
I'm sorry.
I thought it was interesting today, because, you know, Dota.
we're talking about
Got
that?
to see... I think it was Mouse Sports versus M5, and they actually picked up Anti-Mage and Lich, which is just the metagame come full circle,
Oh, yeah.
because, you know, those two were like the pair, and they just ran games. and were-
Lich used to be one of the first bans in competitive
Yeah.
games. Where the hell is Lich gone? Especially in these big
understood why they
team
stopped
fight.
banning him.
Yeah, in the big team fight. And the
Because-
armor? What does he not bring besides the denying? Okay.
It's the sacrifice, yeah, because you're basically taunting teams to pick push heroes and to push your lane hard, which they do anyway. So when you pick up somebody like Lich, you're like, alright, so we'll just storm whatever lane he's in, and
Here's
good
a
luck.
crazy thought. Don't level sacrifice. Level Frost
is
Nova
crazy.
in the armor. Be really strong in the lane. Get like arcane boots. Just go crazy, different, off the wall than you've ever seen him. I'm not even kidding. You get tons of mana from the arcane boots and stuff. You know, you still have a good harass with that, and then the frost armor is going to make you guys, if you fight in the lane or whatever, you're super strong. And then just make him pull creeps and stuff. I think that's still completely viable, and he'll still have that ultimate for team fights, which is where he stands out. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, he was on a team with a DK and a Darkseer, actually. That might have also been today. I don't remember what game it was. But yeah, seeing that, it was like, oh yeah, Frost Armor on those heroes, that's kind of silly. Like,
Oh,
that,
so good.
those heroes are going to be hard to take down, that's for sure.
So good, in general. I mean, okay, I'm gonna get flamed for that hard, but you know,
Of course.
everyone's in the comments gonna be like,
I'm going to do it.
"Excuse me." Yeah, you're gonna just make a comment, be like, "J4Y, you are the stupidest person I know." Let me just tell you why here.
All you do is play LOL.
Lol. I can
Lol.
tell you play LOL by how much you talked about Lich. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Sacrifice is a pretty big move for him, but I could potentially see that build. It's kind of like going Crystal Main without the Aura. That's how I see this build. Like, you're not doing what your full potential might be for your team or for what you're planned to do, but you can still be really effective. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about?
I'm, while you know, talking about heroes, too, that Craig doesn't play enough. Crobolus,
Oh yeah,
Death Prophet,
he's gonna say
What?
she's too boring.
No, I don't like Death Prophet.
Is she too boring?
Slacker.
I don't know. I just don't. It's from when her ulti was terrible. When they first came out with her, and her ulti was like awful because they moved so slow.
Yeah, but now
Yeah.
they don't. So why don't you play her now?
No,
I just don't care.
wanna.
She's
I
old
don't
news.
wanna. I
You
want to
smash
play.
another one. You gotta.
I want to play Meepo.
Well, yeah,
Meepo.
great. And
Dude,
Tackies. I mean,
all right.
Oh,
So
I
we
do not
have.
want to play Techies. Do not want him ever to be implemented into the game.
I could tell you so many more. No, we already had this conversation in our episode 10, and I told
Yeah,
you
we
why he is so good.
You notice how he's not in development yet?
That doesn't matter. Neither is Pit Lord. Do you see me complaining? Yes, you do
notice how
actually.
Meepo is in development?
Did you notice
Yeah, he's up
that actually on Dota 2 Wiki they updated some of the avatars of heroes that are in production? That I actually am just now noticing on my side screen. They now have working portraits for Naga Siren, Nyx Assassin, and Disruptor.
Yep.
Matt, they did it again. Why do I check these things during the cast? I hate it.
What
They have a
happened?
new patch.
Who's in it?
Ogre Magi.
Ogre
The
Magi.
people thought they weren't going to do another hero. But he's in.
There you go.
And enabled Treant Protector in Captain's mode. We saw that coming, actually. That's
Yeah,
what the
well,
Ice Rock
that's
was
something we
saying.
didn't mention too. Back when Treant Protector was working with the Eyes of the Force, like he wasn't even in Captain's mode because of balance issues. But now he actually is available to be picked. I guess we shouldn't maybe go back to him, but I'm just thinking. I think it's probably going to be common to not see him too much, just because Tidehunter's so strong. So
Dude,
just
why
you know,
haven't they
piggyback.
even begun working on Centaur
Yeah.
Warchief yet?
I don't know, man. There are a lot of heroes that
Because
I'm
he's
just like, wait.
awful.
Awfully
What
awesome.
does he bring to the table?
He gets. He's been
Besides his
picked up
stun.
into-
I'll give him his stun. Is good. What else?
He's a Warchief.
Wow, you just blew my mind
Back-
with that
He
sentence.
inspires the people around him.
Exactly.
For war.
When you see him, you're just like, yes, there he is. Let's do it. We're going in. Follow that
The
four-legged
way the
thing.
Centaur cons look, I am not looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with him. Because I don't like how
they're
they
gonna
look.
ruin him.
I think they look like Magnetars. Which is
Dude,
stupid.
so
They
what's
should look like
Magnetar
Centaurs.
look like?
Well, yeah, he's gonna look like a centaur. It's gonna be all flip flopped.
Where's Abaddon? Look at all the
Where's a
stuff.
lot of heroes
Yeah.
that I want? That's a good
Troll-
question.
Oh, I want Troll Warlord, but they fixed him a long time ago. You can't stun bash with him anymore. His bash has got ICD.
About good thing you can't perma stun.
I got a
Terrible.
question for you guys. Now that we have another hero introduced, there was an interview with Bulba, and he said that really the only other hero that's left that he thinks is really going to change the metagame a lot is the Chaos Knight.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys agree with that, or do you think there are other heroes that are really going to maybe not necessarily change the way the game is played, but what other heroes do you think could actually be really important and show up once they get put into the game?
Meepo, obviously.
Of course, just Meepo.
From
That's
a
it.
professional scene, no, Meepo will not change it. As much as you want that to happen. I know you'll love it, but no, he's not going to affect. He was picked up like very rarely in that. Chaos Knight, who wow, looks so badass now in his portrait.
What about like Pit Lord? You don't think Pit Lord would change
Hey!
the special scene or Guardian? Guardian
If
wear?
my personal meta, it's going to change every single game I
Your-
play for the rest
Your
of my
personal
life.
meta, it's probably gonna be terrible.
Well, you're part of it, so good luck.
You're probably gonna go like Mask of Madness or something.
We're going to go
Maelstrom.
Io, Pit
Mjolnir.
Lord, Nature's Prophet. Who else has a teleport? I don't Tinker with
Isn't-
Boots of Travel.
Isn't Pit Lord's teleport like group?
Yeah. I'm just
So
trying
you
to think of people that have a lot of mobility, okay?
You just need Pit Lord.
No, you get everyone with teleports.
So
Teleport
when
to the
Pit Lord goes
teleporter.
in- So when Pit Lord goes in, everyone else just teleports out and leaves Pit Lord
You
by
know who
himself.
I think could honestly change the meta? In all seriousness, if we could come back to a real conversation. Oh, besides Skyrath Mage, who we don't know a lot about, but apparently people
I
are
don't know
saying are
anything about
broken. But people actually I know, Bristleback. I think he could be used, honestly.
Yo, why isn't Bristle in the game yet? Dude,
He's a super
Bristleback
strong hero.
plus OD Aura, boom.
Okay, well, yeah,
Win.
you missed that episode. We talked about that, how awesomely awesome that... Although then you have to play him as a support, and no one likes that.
Pretty sure I put that little thought in your mind, little inception right there.
I believe
Oh,
that
you
might have actually
inceptioned
been in
that?
episode 10, to be honest with you. I think you were
Oh.
dreaming of this for a while now, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
Gonna
asleep
happen.
until today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bristleback, I definitely think is going to be a big... Not big, but he could... Undying. Oh, Undying. I think
I don't know
he'll be-
half these heroes that are left.
Yes, you
Skywrath
do.
Mage, Brick, Shredder,
Oh
Legion
yeah,
Commander,
those. Okay,
Tuskar,
Shredder is
Phoenix.
not.
I don't know.
Shredder is like the techies of terrible proportions.
Rubik actually, I think, has a lot of potential to show up, as does Naga Siren. These tiers are popular in Dota 1 still. I mean, I've always liked Abaddon, think he's a strong hero. I think he's going to be one of those heroes that just kind of pops up here and there, just as teams find particular setups that will work well with him.
He's
Maybe not,
such
you know,
a
necessarily
defensive hero
really
is the
comp, but-
problem.
Hmm?
Like he's a very defensive hero, and that's like he has a heal and a shield. Really, I mean he has some damage too, but essentially like that's his purpose is to keep someone alive. So like, I don't think a lot of teams like that play style. So that might be a reason why you don't see him used a lot, or you won't see him used a lot. Especially in this current meta. Everything's about aggression pretty much right now. Everything's about ganking and setting up kills and going nuts. So I don't think he's going to fit in very well, but who knows? I could be wrong.
I mean, I actually really like Frostmourne, which you figure they're going to have to rename. I mean, a 40% attack speed slow, kind of nice, and a 20% movement speed slow. It's actually really nice attack modifier.
Yeah, I suppose. If you go in melee
Passive, I
range
should say.
as a noob. I remember back in the day in Han, God, we talk about other games now too much because of freaking Craig, but Craig would build him like Carry Abaddon. That was his name in Han, and it worked extremely well because you couldn't kill him with his ultimate and his heals and shield, and he would just wail on you, and it was hilarious. And he got the increased attack speed and everything, and it just worked out extremely well. But
Yeah, I mean, I could see building him similar to Darkseer and getting, like, the pipe in that respect if you actually allowed him to get some farm in a lane and just, you know, be able to just stay alive himself and be able to just do enough damage with the Frostmourne. I don't know, man. Crazy. Do you think, like, what hero are you looking, okay, other than Meepo, that you think might actually come into the game and be an important hero, Craig?
I can't answer with one of Meepo's images.
No.
ult level 3.
Meepo level 3. Done.
Wait.
I don't know. Who do I want to play?
Sure.
There's a lot of troll heroes. I don't know, like Troll Warlord.
Oh.
Mortrid. I want to play Mortrid.
Oh, I was going to actually mention that, and then Matt threw me off
Crits to
guard.
the
She's
face.
coming in soon, dude.
She's got to be coming in soon. They changed her model completely.
Yeah, she actually, I think, in the Treant Protector patch, they actually did a little bit of, like, work on her helmet, especially. I seem to remember that being a little less detailed than it is now. But yeah, she's got to be coming quick. I mean, you know, Ogre Magi's had that pretty finished avatar for a couple weeks. But yeah, you have to figure she's coming out within the next, 2-3 weeks.
Gyrocopter and Lyanna have had like the same avatar for a long time, and Luna's avatar now is actually looking pretty complete as well.
Yeah,
Isn't
go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't it interesting? I wonder how, like, the development is going for these heroes. Like, how, first of all, do they choose to put so much emphasis on... I understand, like, some heroes have abilities that take a lot more time and effort, maybe to code or whatever, than other heroes. Like, Undying is probably a lot more complicated than... Because you've seen that picture of him on this unreleased heroes thing since, oh god, how many years ago? He's been around for a while on their development, but he hasn't been obviously released. So, I mean, I don't honestly know how long that's gonna take, but like, it's just curious to see, like Ogre Magi. Why was he thrown in? Like, when they know these other heroes might be a lot more used or effective, you know?
It's all just based on how easy their moves are to decode.
You don't think there's
'Cause-
any other thing to throw in?
Not really. I mean, making graphics for it. I guess there's you need a graphic concept, and then you need to write the code, and then you get your artwork team just to bang out some models.
Yeah, I mean, you figure those departments are working independently of each other. Like, you should have people just, working on models, maybe not even specifically. Like, yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how they actually decide, if it's like, okay, well, we'd really like to have a working model for Luna, let's say, so we can start coding and stuff for that. Oh, okay, well, we'll get one out. But yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of these, we've seen them in sort of this half-finished state for a long time. So you figure there have to be just, like, jumping around working on just a little bit as they go.
There's probably
That's
you think
cool.
there's like a team for each hero?
No.
You think
No.
one person's working on like 5 heroes?
Hmm.
I think one person works on one hero at a time for the coding aspect of it. For the art, yeah, he probably works on multiple.
Yeah, that would make sense for the art, definitely. Because he shows him a draft and then makes another one or something. I don't know.
Right.
It's-
Because graphics aren't that hard to make because you always make them like the same way. It's just like modeling with the software, and like actual coding, you have to find ways to get around problems that could take
interactions with other
time.
heroes and environment and
Right.
everything.
Coding is a little more complicated, and that's why I think the models are made based on how coding is going for the individual characters.
Mm.
And obviously, they choose which character gets developed.
Death Prophet must have
coding.
been a hoe to make.
What are you the coding? You mean?
Yeah. Decide
there are
on
a
how
couple
those
heroes.
ghosts operate. I don't really know how you prioritize and make them. That just seems crazy. To
Well,
me.
I feel like in one of the patches they actually tried to improve some of how they interact with targets and stuff.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, with that, I think the ghosts still follow you right click, right? Like if you right.
I mean,
hero,
there's a
ghosts
certain
still
range from the
own
hero
you.
they'll stop pursuing whoever they're
Right.
going for. So yeah, in some regard, I think it might be over like a 1300. They'll just snap back and come towards you. But for the most part, they'll do almost seems like whatever they wanted to, and you just hope they go for the right. I don't even think they have a hero priority, to be honest.
They don't. I think they follow your auto attack though. Like if you right click a
Oh.
hero, they all go after that one.
It kind
target.
of looks like that.
Yeah, that's what
They
it
might
should be.
switch targets. Like I think, like if you're attacking a tower, for example, and your ghosts are beating on it, and then like a hero comes and ganks you, they might switch over to the hero, or like maybe it's an aggro kind of thing. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. There's probably a lot of factors they've thrown in there.
Yeah, but you look at things like Luna. She's the only hero or only unit in the game that has a glaive type attack. So that's a brand new concept they have to learn. They have to program in.
That's true.
Like you're saying, Undying. He's got the thing that
Ugh.
if it does certain things based on how many creatures are nearby. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the whole tombstone thing too is actually going to be a pain in the butt to.
Flesh Golem, Soul Rip. Oh my god! Literally, like all of his moves
All of his are-
ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Tuskar is his slow. You actually have a unit to be able to move around. So, being able to give him like a pet and get that slower. I mean, I guess that one might not actually be that complicated, but I don't know. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of really challenging things in some of the heroes they have left.
Mordred's
That's
been
for
in
sure.
development for so long because of her disappearing model.
Oh, true.
Like when she got leaked for some reason on the live servers, but you couldn't play her in like actual games. You could play her if you played by yourself though. And when you picked her, she was immediately already invisible, like without leveling any skills, which makes you think they're trying to figure out the best way to program that.
So,
Meepo's ultimate spawns additional heroes. That's interesting.
yeah, but he's already getting a lot of work done. Whereas, like Centaur Warchief, like you mentioned, I think that's a really simple hero. His ultimate's a passive. He has an AoE stun. People have that. Double Edge is just a nuke that hurts himself. The return's the only new real concept. The return damage. I don't think that's on. Oh, Blade Mail in a sense. I mean, I don't know.
It probably just has to do with. Like I said, they pick which heroes they want out.
Okay, that's okay. Well, you didn't
They just
initially
haven't
say
decided
that.
they
That's
want
what I was
him.
asking.
They just haven't decided they wanted Warchief yet. They pick heroes which they want in development, and then they develop them. And as they get close to the end of development, they assign the graphics team to make models for them.
Poor Pit Lord, just being shunned.
You'll never.
It just means they don't want to develop the other heroes yet. They just haven't
don't
felt like
care
it.
about Pit Lord.
They just hate you, Jay.
They
don't
do.
want you to be
I was
happy.
like, total Pit Lord. You know, I did
Yeah,
ask for
nothing.
Ogre Magi too. So they
Yeah,
granted that.
I think you wanted Disruptor. Maybe not one of your top ones, but I seem
I
to
haven't
remember
gotten to
you,
play him, but his abilities sounded really cool. That's why I wanted to play him. I really honestly want techies to try a serious builds with him. No. Do you realize
You're
how
not
much damage his mines do to towers? He's by
Yep.
far one of the strongest tower pushers in the game with his mines. Easily. Easily. Do you understand what easily means?
I believe it means with difficulty.
I think it
I
means
think that's
don't pick techies ever.
I
don't
can
ever
show
implement
you.
it.
That's
so,
what it means.
No, when he does
Isn't
come
Ice
out,
Frog on the team? Petition Ice Frog.
Yeah.
Tell him never to fucking develop that hero.
whoa, unnecessary. No, I think honestly, I think it hits for 200 damage at least on towers, on mine.
Yes.
That's huge damage.
All right, here's my question. Kind of unrelated, but when we finish this and we play our game of Dota, and Craig, you go Outroll Destroyer mid,
No.
and I protect Jay in the side lane as Ogre Magi, and I am Crystal Maiden, how hard are we going to destroy the other team?
Ogre Magi Crystal Man. That would slaughter.
That would.
But what
And
would
then
I
you have
get with my...
OD.
Oh, I can get the Augment Scepter! Oh, is it in
Yeah.
Dota 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Why wouldn't it be?
probably
I know it was
not
in
what you
Dota
think
1.
it is, though.
Well, it
Why
looked cool.
not?
There was
You get
Why wouldn't
You get a second instance of your spells?
You're just your Fire Blast.
Oh.
Oh, just your Fire Blast, whatever. I wasn't sure
That's
if that's
really
what
good.
it was.
You kidding me?
Yeah, it is good. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you knew about it.
Oh, I did. No, I did.
Yeah.
That's why I was so excited for him to come out, because I wanted to try. Now he finally has an item to go for.
Yeah, it's a second instance, but it costs like 4 times the
It's
mana. or
400
something.
mana, I believe it is. And it's called Unrefined Fire Blast. Trust me, I know my research. And it's
Just
a longer,
waiting a
it's
long
a longer
time for this.
cooldown too. But the point is, you can get double multicast Fire Blast. So, I mean, if that happens, someone's ass just got annihilated. That's pretty much all you can say.
One's-
Yeah. And you have the Staff of Wizardry and the point booster giving you a lot of that mana that you're going to
I
need to be
wouldn't
able to
rush it.
cast. That's what
Honestly, my build for him, if I was getting farm, which won't be the case, probably in a very lot
be.
of situations. Well, we'll
Oh
be
no,
in
we're
one
doing
game.
it as soon as this
But,
is over. That's what we're doing.
Well, he's only on test server now anyway, so we'll have to play bots or something.
That's right.
But no, we will be playing a bot game. Sorry, Craig, you don't have to. You will, no, you will. Anyways, basically, yeah,
Did you think?
I would rush Arcane Boots, and then because in like other games, you would rush the Arcane Ring, which is what it was before Arcane Boots mysteriously happened when we weren't playing Dota for whatever reason. But like the best idea they've ever had. But yeah, rush those Arcane Boots, or maybe even a Soul Ring. I could see that being maybe both. Depends on how much mana you really need.
Get it all.
But-
Just
Then again, if you have a CM and you get Aura, I guess that really actually wouldn't be as pressing. But then I would just straight up get. I wouldn't even upgrade my. Well, I guess I'd upgrade my boots because I get Arcane Boots. But I would go straight for that Augment right after and just mess people up because I think, how insane will that be?
pretty good, pretty bursty. We'll get to talk about it next
That's
week.
true. He'll be in the next one. Oh man,
There you go.
too excited. Too excited. This was supposed to be your exciting hero, Treant, and yet it just felt so lackluster after it happened.
I mean, I definitely do want to mess with him some more. I didn't get to, or I didn't want to as much. Just in the kind of games we were playing, I do actually want to run him solo, and just
You might
see.
as well. We're
how it
playing
is,
bots.
even though
Do
that's not
whatever the hell you
typically-
want. I don't care. Craig can
Yeah.
support me as Crystal Main.
There you go. I like it. I like it.
I'm sure he would love to sign up for that.
What? No, I ain't playing on no test server.
I
Now-
played on no test server.
Yeah. Now my
I-
hopes and dreams are entirely upon IO being everything I've dreamed of and more, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
No, he's alpha.
I think. Yeah. I think we're winding down. Yeah. I don't
I guess I
really know
can.
what else to-
I had other things I wanted to say, but then this went on for a very long time.
What do you have? What do you got? What's your most pressing?
Oh, pressing? I don't know. You would just... I'm going to slap you.
Shut your mouth.
It'd actually be okay, because I see a picture of, like, a kid
Yeah.
in our Skype. Although the
not
viewers
okay.
can't, and I just would
You shouldn't
smack
hit
you.
kids. You should
Apparently
not
I hit kids. Why am I saying this? This sounds horrible. That is not the person I am. Sorry. Only when I'm drunk.
Don't get me
Now
out
you're
another-
fancy who you really are.
You overcooked the roast. Alright. Well, one thing I want to talk about Treant, since we were kind of going to talk about him, was the fact that Toby said he was taken out of Captain's Mode for being too OP in Dota 1. And he actually, for most of Dota 1's history, up till I think it was 6.74. Oh my god, I don't know versions of Dota 1. Forget it. But the point is, up till very recently, he was not even in captain's mode. Couldn't be used competitively because he was too OP. And then I was trying to think, we had that discussion about the differences. What would make him so OP or not able to be used in competitive play? Craig, what do you think?
You know who else is not in captain's mode?
That's not answering my question. But go
You know
ahead.
who else
Techies.
is not in captain's mode because he's too OP?
Too OP?
Techies?
Techies.
Yeah, too OP. But
And
get
by
back to
too
my
OP, I
question. No,
mean
I already explained why he's
awful.
OP. I've already explained why he's OP. But you have to
What was
explain
the
why.
question? So I was focused on.
Just thinking about
Techies.
techies, I do it all the time. But why Treant was not even in captain's mode because he was claimed to be. What makes him unbalanced for competitive play back then?
Didn't we already go over this with the eyeballs?
That makes him
Eyeballs?
unbalanced?
And the ultimate. I mean, the ultimate was a lot bigger, and like I said, I believe it had the mini stun component. I mean, yeah, that
But I
ability
explained
is
why
just
the
so
wards
strong.
didn't seem that good, or the eyes didn't seem that good. Because it's like wards, and you can chop them down with a quelling blade.
It's
So
like
what makes them
wards,
so hard to counter?
They're really hard to see, and
they're
they're on
free.
Well, maybe
like
that
a
was
60
maybe it's because of the Dota 1 thing, where
60-second cooldown, and they're free. And you can place them like one forest in. You'd have to go through true trees just to get to it. And you can counter ward with eyes, and you can see like smoke yanks with eyes.
All those
And, like,
things that he just
you can't counter it with a gem.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really what it is. I mean, obviously it was a really long cooldown to start, and then the later part of the games, if you can keep those eyes up, then your supports don't have to spend the money on the wards anymore. Now they can actually start getting, your big team fight items. They can guaranteed, have the mechanism and the pipe. So
It's not even that, but it's also your team's just so hard to gank with those eyes up.
that's true as well. Yeah.
I guess
And you
early
keep
game you
tabs
can't
on the sand.
afford sentry wards a lot, so you can't counter ward as easily. Or like I'm trying to say again, in a normal game, like if people had that much vision, you wouldn't be able to. But yeah, like it is, I guess, a lot harder to counter that kind of vision early on in the game. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Even later in the game, it's
I don't
hard
know
to gank,
about
hard to
I don't know
counter.
about that making him not viable. I mean, too strong in a pro game.
I do think
dunno.
it's funny that we never saw him in Heroes of New Earth when he was
Oh, he's
that
in there all
version
the
of
time
Treant
now,
Protector.
though. But you're right. When he was the original port, yeah, you like barely saw him at all. And then when they changed him to be like Nature's Prophet, where he can summon little ads, and
Tree
now he's in
dolls.
literally every game in Heroes of New Earth because
Well,
he.
you also got to think about Hana. The heroes that S2 rolls out are just so imbalanced. Like comparing an old Dota hero to a new S2 hero, it's like
Well, even saying back when, it was just the original Dota heroes for the most part. I mean, they had a couple of their own, but those, like some of the very early heroes that S2 were putting out, weren't really that ridiculous. I mean, the only one that actually got used a lot was Electrician. I feel like of some of their early heroes, Madman. Well, he's
he did
sort
a
of.
bit.
Madman was overpowered
really.
for a long time,
He was
and then they
pretty
nerfed
weak.
him. He had 2 blinks,
Oh god, well, he was ridiculous in his
His
first
barrel.
kit. Oh god,
his stalk, and then his barrel roll, and his barrel roll was a stun and like a
he was
blink.
unkillable.
Yeah, he was way overpowered. And then they nerfed him.
And
now
then
he's
his
actually
steroids
okay.
ultimate. It's like okay.
I mean, Dark Lady was also pretty overpowered when she was first introduced.
Oh, she's a cool hero too. Not to get
She's
on,
also-
not to get on their nuts or anything, but like
She's also still kind of overpowered.
she just scales really well.
Yeah.
That's probably the difference. She scales very well. So
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like about those heroes specifically that would be like.
broken.
Now
Like,
we don't want to pick Treant. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's still interesting that he never got picked up, even though he was, OP as far as, Ice Frog was concerned.
True. It's just different developers' ideas, I guess. Of
S2 doesn't know what balance is.
wow, what if they're watching right now?
Well, now they know
You
how I
just-
feel about them.
Well, they'll never invite you
Okay.
to their game again.
That's cool, because I don't play their game anymore.
Dude, they just came out with Mid Wars. You missed that one too. Just saying.
Yeah. Where have you been? We actually discussed a lot of the difference between, like Han and LoL and Dota, and we talked about the new stuff. Where were you, Greg? Where were you?
He was playing Diablo in his mind.
I was playing Diablo.
Yeah. He was preparing. Mental preparation.
Hell
Well,
is
I think,
fine. Yeah.
I think the last thing that I think we have to actually take care of.
Besides your mic being crappy.
Yes.
Wow. What happened to your quality? Let's just wrap this up. God, I don't know what you did.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, it's better.
Oh, it's back.
I think it's just my interwebs.
Yeah, your computer just sucks. Everything sucks. Just go.
Yeah, so we made a deal with you guys last week.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, if you get us 100 subscriptions on the old YouTube channel, we'll give you a beta key. And you hit 101 today, which was awesome. Thank you guys very much for subscribing. We know it's because you liked us, not because you wanted the beta key. It just happens that Divide was the winner of this beta key. We will be sending him that key after this episode. So congratulations to him. But if you're all sad-faced because you're not Divide, you still have a chance to win one next week. All you have to do is like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I think that's what it's called. I don't know.
And yeah, stick tuned because we'll probably have more giveaways and contests and stuff in the future. As we do, we like to give things back to the community, you know, for appreciating us. So you know, it's some give and take. So yeah, definitely keep tuned with us, and you know, we'll be throwing more stuff at you. Wah! Like a ninja star. Yeah.
Right to the.
That's the noise. That's literally what you have to say though when you throw a ninja star.
Yeah.
Although you would think a ninja would want to be stealthy and like, you know, assassinate-y, if that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word I'm going to use for the day. Assassinate.
Totally word.
It's a word in a ninja vocabulary. Look it up. Okay.
Anyhow, thanks for joining us, Bonk. Thank you everybody else for tuning in and joining us with Bonk. If you want to hear some more of his insights and thoughts and musings, you can check out episode 10 where he actually was really helpful in helping me and Jay talk about Invoker. Obviously, he's changed a little bit since then, but you know, still really good insights as far as, especially Quaswex.
And hit the donate button, and we'll contribute to starving bonks in Africa to get their webcams. That didn't make any sense at all, but you know what I mean.
Africa, you're a liar.
And we'll probably give all the donations to him for the webcam. Probably.
That and hookers. Webcams and hookers.
Yeah, we won't say we won't release the ratio percentages on the air here, but
it's not important. It's not important. What is important is that you all checked us out again this week. Thank you very much. We will see you all next week with another beta key and some discussion about the good old Ogre Magi. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you then.